Good morning to the world. This is Happy Science Morning Prayer to be strong, brave, powerful, and constructive from Tokyo, Japan. Let us begin. Lord El Kantare, Master Ryuho Okawa, thank you for giving us another day with new life for our spiritual growth and creating utopia on earth. With our sincere gratitude, let us recite the true words spoken by Buddha, prayer to the Lord, and prayer to guardian and guiding spirits. The true words spoken by Buddha, Ryuho Okawa. There used to be the light in the great universe. The light is the energy of Buddha. People can live by this energy, and Buddha's energy has made human history. It will be supplied eternally. This eternal light comes from heaven and prevails on earth. This is the light of heaven. Through the prism of Buddha, there appear the 7 colors of rainbow arching over in the sky. Here you can see Buddha's mercy. Yellow is the color of teaching. White is the color of saving. Red is the color of justice. Purple is the color of obedience. Blue is the color of thinking. Green is the color of harmony. Silver is the color of progress. These 7 colors help each other, and there appears Buddha-land. Buddha-land is shining brightly because of gathering of bodhisattvas. This is the land of love or the land of mercy. This is the land of wisdom or the land of teaching. Especially, this is the land of souls. Rest in peace. Real souls are the children of Buddha. The children of Buddha became real human beings. Real human beings have spirituality. The spirits are immortal powers. The spirits are immortal forces. The spirits are real entities. The physical bodies are the shadows of the spirits. It means you are the boat sailing down the great river. The great river is the symbol of the course of lives. Each of you sails down as a small boat, so you need a boatman. If it were not for your own boatman, you surely go aground. This boatman really means your mind. If your mind makes a mistake, the boat breaks into pieces by a large rock, and you also need a bamboo pole. This pole is the meaning of the true words. When you go down a rapid stream, you need to punt in a stream, then you can change your course. The true words means the teaching of Buddha. Buddha enlightened and spoke the true words, and Buddha's teaching became a gold mine. This gold mine suggests various teachings. These are another expression of Buddha's truth. It brightens up your days, or to put it another way, the fruits of Buddha's mercy. All of you, now, here, listen to me. Never lose your way, now and forever. The guiding hand has already waved. Please follow this white hand and go straightly on and on. Your lives are not limited to this world only. They have 3 aspects: the past, the present, the future. Your pasts have already gone by, yet still your mistakes will be kept in your minds. That is the reason why you should understand other people, and you yourself should reflect on what you have done. You and others are not different. On the contrary, both are children of Buddha and brothers and sisters. Now then, love each other. Let us bring up each other, and it's time to forgive each other. This is the eternal law, which penetrates the present and the future. Yes, indeed, the light of the dark night. The dark night of this world is hell. It is also the same in another world. Since we came down to this world, the sun of the truth is scheduled to rise. Now we are watching rising sun. It will shed light to the future, to invite sad people to Buddha land. Now here I command, there shall not be conflict in this world. There shall not be distrust in this world. There shall not be crime in this world. There shall not be evil spirit in this world. There shall not be the devil in the next world. Only the ideal world, utopia, shall be realized. All of the people love each other, live harmoniously, believe in one another. That world is utopia. All of us could be the light of bodhisattvas. Believe in that the light has reality. Believe in that love has reality. Believe in that the truth has reality. These are the facts that should be conveyed. We, the light of bodhisattvas, get together, work together, to keep right mind and live in tune with Buddha's words. Here we vow to do so. Prayer to the Lord. Our Lord Alcantara, you are the source of all light, all power, all wisdom, and all love. May you give us light, give us power, give us wisdom, and give us love. O Lord, our Father, please protect this planet of love earth. Protect us from all evil and open a future for us. O Lord, thank you for giving us light. We give thanks from the bottom of our hearts. Prayer to guardian and guiding spirits. My guardian and guiding spirits, deep inside of me, you are the fountain of life, the light of hope, the source of wisdom, and a shield of courage. Every day may you help me develop my soul and refine my mind. Every day may you give me inspiration and show me the right path to follow. Please protect me from all evil and guide me in living a better life. For this I give my thanks. Now we will have some time to dedicate our deepest gratitude to the Lord. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us again today. Today, I would like to continue with talking about the topics from the True Heart of Yaidron. And as I mentioned last time, the key words he mentions is faith in God, Lord Alcantara, the power of meditation. And he gives us these keywords as hints for the future. So I have been thinking about what this means, and also about how Master has been talking about the three themes, which is very universal. He's gone back to them a little bit, and they're truth, good, and beauty. And to me, he mentioned them on March 23rd in his lecture, in his conversation, his one-on-one talk with Mrs. Shiokawa. And I would like to talk about enlightenment in terms of those things, and you'll see how, the topics that will progress from there. Okay, so enlightenment, I think many people have Buddhism as the image of enlightenment, especially maybe in non-Asian countries. But I think the most simple way, one of the simple ways to explain enlightenment, is the ability to see and understand the truth. And I also think that good and beauty are very connected to enlightenment, and they will be really important for everyone's lives in the future, and for creating an ideal world on earth, because creating an ideal world on earth is a beautiful world. Also, Lord Elkantare's name, Elkantare means the beautiful planet as well. The beauty is in there, shining planet is in there as well. So it's a very important theme in Master Okawa's mission and his truths, and God's truths. And as I mentioned last time, when I thought about enlightenment and all of the things that Master has been teaching us recently and revealing recently, the space beings and heroes were a very key thing that came to my mind. And the reason is that, as I touched on last time, we can learn a lot about truth, good, and beauty through space beings and heroes, I think. And the reason I mention space beings is because many of the heroes in American movies, or probably in other countries, are based on space beings, like Superman. There's also Thor, and there are many others. And the universe, the cosmic universe, is their world, right? In the DC universe, in the Marvel universe. And what they're trying to convey to us, I think, is that we are not alone in this universe, of course, and that there is a diverse world, not just within our planet, but beyond our planet, in the whole universe, of many beings with many different values and characteristics. And we can learn from them as well, not just to believe that they're better than us. It's to really think in terms of truth, good, and beauty. So that's something I've been really trying to contemplate on as much as possible. And so I'm still on my own journey of that. And today I just want to share some thoughts on what I've thought about so far, and some of the recent developments, in light of recent developments from Master's lectures and spiritual messages. So, space beings and heroes. And when I say heroes, I think it includes messiahs, it includes religious leaders, it includes, of course, saviors. So there are different types of heroes, I think. If you kind of just think a little bit, classify them, there are heroes that that are more about military heroes or in the world of politics, government, in that area. There are heroes, I'm sure, in the business. There's heroes everywhere. And then, of course, there's religious heroes who are very spiritual and religious. And they teach about life as our life as spiritual beings. And for example, I mentioned Superman, and he's someone from Krypton, right? A different planet. And if you watched The Man of Steel, there are many moments throughout that movie that tell us about how selfless he was. If you look in terms of from the perspective of truth, I think that he understood. If you really watch the movie, yeah, he understands some aspect of truth, the universal truth or God's truth. He has a very pure, virtuous character, and that's portrayed a lot in the movie. And if you look in terms of good, he tries to choose good over evil, right? So when the space beings who want to harm Earth come to Earth, and they're from Krypton, meaning they can, they can kill him. He needs to risk his life, and he risks his life to save the people of Earth, to save this planet. So he chooses good over evil. And to me, I think that there's beauty in that virtuous character, that he wanted to create an ideal world where people can live in harmony and safely. He tried to really help people in that way, and that way of life, that decision, that mind, the purity of mind, there's beauty in that, I really believe. And so even just watching The Man of Steel or other Superman movies, I think you can learn so much about these things. And trying to see the world in terms of those three things becomes our enlightenment, because from learning from Superman's story, the way he is, his mindset, his selflessness, his love for the people, even though he's from a different planet, yeah, I think that becomes our enlightenment, and we can practice the same things in our own lives. Another figure, which would be more of a political hero, I think, is Abraham Lincoln. And recently, it's been revealed that Abraham Lincoln's soul is kind of a very close soul to Shakyamuni Buddha. And of course, Shakyamuni Buddha is connected to Master Okawa, Lord Alcantara. And Abraham Lincoln, really, he's one of America's biggest heroes, of course. He risked his life to preserve the Union in a very, very tumultuous time. And he was someone who was also very religious. This is in respect to the truth. He always read the Bible. He cited passages from the Bible. So he cherished God's words and God's truths. And by that way of life, by that spiritual, religious discipline and effort every day, you can see how much he tried to understand God's truths and practice them in his political decisions, in his military decisions. And of course, I'm sure he realized that I heard that, there's been books on him about him being very spiritual. And I think he knew psychics, and he was warned about that he will be assassinated if he goes to the theater. And but he went anyway, knowing that that might happen. And I think Master said this too in one of the lectures, that he went with the acceptance that there was so many lives that have been lost. And I think his soul was in anguish as well, even though he knew that it was for a greater purpose. And somehow that self-sacrifice of putting the world, your country, the world, the people, the greater numbers of people's lives above your own, and making the ultimate sacrifice of death. There's a lot of beauty in that. And right now, these are really important topics, I feel, because there is a lot happening in this world where if each of us can learn and live as Superman did, and live as Abraham Lincoln did, maybe not to the extreme of going to full self-sacrifice, that's not what I'm trying to say, but if we can learn from that, the truth, good, and beauty from them, this world will become much more beautiful. And I think that's the purpose of our lives in this world. So Abraham Lincoln, he cherished God's truths, and when he had to make a decision, when the South wanted to secede and create their own country, he needed to make a decision whether it's worth the lives of many, many American men to go to war and preserve the Union. Is it worth that, or is it better to actually become a divided country? He had those two choices, and he, based on his knowledge of the truth, God's truths, he made the decision of what is good and what is evil. And his decision was to say, it's better for the whole country, it's a greater good to preserve the Union and to spread values of, for example, the Emancipation Proclamation. It's better to spread values of freeing the slaves and creating a bigger, stronger country under those values. He thought that that was the greater good. So he made that decision. And from that, I think maybe the beauty is that I think it took him great courage. I think for a leader to make the decision to let many, many people die is a very difficult decision. And to have the strength and courage to take responsibility for it. And that's especially, and even more so, if you believe in God and you believe in the afterlife, because you have to answer to God. You have to be confident that this is also God's will. So I've read that every day he prayed during the Civil War to God, asking him, like, is this the wrong decision? I think people in that kind of position, it's very difficult to be completely sure, right? So he prayed to God every day. And there's beauty in his faith, in his valor, in his courage, and his inner virtues of risking his life and the life of many men for the sake of many other lives and the future of the country. And I know for a fact, as of course, when we learn about history of many different countries, there are heroes like Abraham Lincoln all over the world. So I just know about Abraham Lincoln. I learned about him. We studied a lot about the Civil War growing up, and so that was my way of being able to talk about one example. And Master happens to mention Abraham Lincoln often recently. So, but if you're from another country, please find heroes from your country like Abraham Lincoln and please be proud of that and please learn from their lessons. I think that's something Master is trying to teach us through these spiritual messages. He has so many thousands of them, many of them angels. So you can find many more examples if you go to the local temple and ask for them. Many might be from your own country. So you can learn about directly from their spirits about their lives and what their thoughts were, how they lived, and what their values were. Yes, so those things I wanted to mention today. And learning from truth, good, and beauty, and making that our own enlightenment, learning from others, and learning those values is very important in terms of what the true heart of Yaidron is also talking about, the things he mentions in here. And I think other news sources, media sources are talking about, I've noticed The Economist, a YouTube video created by The Economist on the struggle, the suffering of the Uyghur people. And they're suffering a lot from suppression, brainwashing. And I'm sure if you've been alert to what's happening around the world through some of the things that you can find out from the news, that they're really suffering under Beijing's rule. So this is something, of course, that's inside here. And as I mentioned, Master says, I want to repeat it because this is so important. And I don't know if everyone will watch my previous videos. So I would like to mention again that, or maybe this is the first. Yeah, I would like to mention Master's preface. This is the revelation from Space Being Yaidron that was released in video at the conclusion of year 2020. The contents are very different from that of the Japanese administration and the major Japanese media groups, as well as from the popular opinion of Americans in the U.S. presidential election, and from the reports we get from major American media groups. Yeah, and this is going to sound harsh, but this is a warning so that we can prevent this from happening. If Japan and the world's major powers that share its values believe Yaidron's words, then they shall gain the power to open their futures. But if they ignore his words, then there shall come even greater crises as tests. It's up to Earth's human beings which side they want to choose. There have been countless such situations in past civilizations. May humankind be with Savior. And so I hope you can, deduce and you can understand from what I just mentioned about Abraham Lincoln and Superman. If you read these words, what I mentioned about them is very important. And I would like to read you some passages that are important from this spiritual message from Yaidron, and maybe talk about a few things. Okay, so this is in the format of a question and answer, and the question was basically about the crises that are happening and what kind of things will develop in the year 2021. And I'll read some passages from his answer. He says, well, the current leader of China is extremely confident. I'm sure of that. So you can see the thinking behind the virus being spread widely in America and Europe. But the rate of infections has also been high in India. Infections there have reached nearly 10 million people, but the people there are supposed to be very resistant to germs. So much so that if Indians have contracted the virus, then the Caucasians would have perished a long time ago already. That is how strong Indians' resistance to viruses and bacteria is. To add to that, if Indians are getting infected, then Chinese people should be getting infected also. Yet Beijing is publicly claiming most of its population to have not gotten infected. The truth behind this needs to be exposed too. So, since Indian people have high resiliency to germs, Beijing must have developed viruses that can destroy even the Indian people, meaning Beijing developed viruses that were never experienced by Indians before, and it has done this because India could get in the way of conquering Asia. This is the reason why India's rate of infections has been second highest in the world after America. Brazil's rate of infections has also been high. This means that Beijing is already out to destroy the next world powers that can threaten it and is moving extremely aggressively. I can only think that this person must want to complete his world strategy while he's still alive. He's doing everything at once, that's clear. He's attacked America, he's attacked Europe, and he's trying to isolate the UK. Since many variants are appearing in the UK right now, travelers from there are being denied entry by all the countries, etc. And yeah, how could the UK send warships to Hong Kong in such a situation? This is a sign that someone has thought through a plan that prevents the UK and America from putting military pressure on the Hong Kong crisis. I'm sorry, but the mass media hasn't realized yet that that is what's happening. So yeah, and I recommend you to watch the video from The Economist. I think if you type in Uyghur and The Economist, you can find the video, and they show, yeah, actual videos of what's happening there. And he mentions that as well, I think, in here. Yeah, and this is just one thing that he reveals. He also reveals about the scheme, the economic scheme as well. So I highly recommend you to read this. And yeah, his message is always to be with Savior, which is to be with Master Okawa. And he says towards the conclusion of this book, right now a movement is occurring from Japan to save people. Please make this a power and spread it to Asia, America, and Europe. Work in unison with China's internal revolution and make people aware of the evil empire of Beijing. By doing so, this empire will get destroyed. In other words, telling the truth and exposing evil deeds, the real role of the mass media, will lead to Beijing's destruction. This is how we have been fighting, isn't it? We have not been fighting by killing people to win, but instead what's righteous or what's not righteous gets revealed when the truth gets reported, and when evil gets exposed, it gets destroyed. Yes, so this is this is something I wanted to share today. On truth, good, and beauty, on learning from heroes and messiahs. And how that's related also to the true heart of Yaidron. I hope you'll read this book, and I'll continue on next time. I hope you'll join me again. Thank you always for joining us. This concludes Happy Science Morning Prayer. Be strong, brave, powerful, positive, and constructive. Have a nice day.